welcome to part 3. Hopefully you've enjoyed the other 2 parts, and this one is, yeah, I think it's a step in the right direction.
Okay, wanted to touch base on something here really quick. So originally, I had planned to make this enclosure symmetrical, that it would extend 10 inches beyond this stand each direction, from here out, and then from the front side out. And then I realized just how damn big that was going to be, and then decided to change that up and try to put this in a better view. So what I was going to do this time, instead of having it stick out 10 inches this direction, which would have allowed these cables and everything to be contained within inside of the enclosure. Let me double check you're still able to view this thing. Not that you're missing out on a whole lot here, but anyway, so instead of having this thing stick out 10 inches this way, which would have been all the way to here, and this whole thing would have just been monstrous. And the biggest problem with that is, say you wanted to put this machine against the wall, you can't. You're gonna, at a minimum, you're gonna be 10 inches from the wall. As where if I were to leave it as it is now, the way I've redesigned this, the enclosure is going to end right here, right with the back of the base. And then you're only, I don't know, your cables here are the only problem. These can be relocated though. I'll probably just drop these down below here, and they won't get wet or have chips on them because of the enclosure that I'm building. So then you're only going to deal with 4 3/8. So you could put this sucker 4 3/8 inches to the wall, and that's just a huge space saver. If you have a single car garage like me, packed full of more equipment that you probably should spend money on, space is extremely hard to come by. So anyway, that's the reason why the back of this enclosure is flat. Originally I had drawn it to where it was going to be tapered, just like it is on the front, how I have that, forget what angle, I think it's like a 90-degree angle or something coming up. And then over here, actually it's like a 30-degree angle or something like that. It's been a couple weeks and I'm old. So anyway, that's the whole purpose behind this. So that was probably about a waste of 5 minutes of your life listening to, but wanted to get that point across. And the reason I bring that up is because I've changed this to where it's not going to clear all this. You'll notice that I'm going to have to notch the sheet metal on the base. I don't think I'm going to have to at the top, because the top clears this entire thing completely. So I won't have to do a notch up here, but for the base I'm going to have to make a notch. And that notch is to go around this part here. So I'm going to do the quick drawing of what I'm going to have to do, and then I'll do a manual layout on the sheet metal itself and then cut it out and all that. So I wanted to explain why I'm going to have to notch that. Okay, I'm trapped behind the camera. So I wanted to just take you through the process of this. I'm going to draw the back of that enclosure I was just talking about and draw the notch on it. So I'm just going to show you the way I'm going to go about it. I'm not saying it's the right way, but I will say that you gotta figure it out and just scribble some stuff down. And yeah, we'll do this. So I'm not gonna make this too fancy, but I'm not gonna make it too sloppy either. So bear with me here. I'm just gonna draw a little design that's gonna resemble the enclosure. The cool thing about making nice little sketches is it's easily identifiable. There's no, you don't really have to guess what your intent was behind it. It's predicted, and That's how this should be. When you have time, which maybe even if you do it sloppily, it takes a lot of time. I'm just starting to get a little bit more patient. As a kid, I would have just scribbled this crap down and then also not be able to design or build anything of value back then. I'm not saying I'm making money doing this, but okay, so this represents the rear view of the chip tray. Now, if I measure this little guy, it turns out that the width of this is 6 7/8 of an inch. So, almost 7 inches. We don't want this so tight that we have to like pound it into place because the sheet metal will distort and all that. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to make this a 7-inch. That should give us about, you know what? It's about 6 13/16. So if it 6 13/16 and we make a 7-inch notch, that will give us let's see, 3/32 of clearance on each side, because that's it's oversized by 3/16. So 3/16 divided by 2, 3/32. So let's find center of this guy real quick. Should be real easy. It's right here. Let's make our thing approximately this big. Okay, so this is our 7-inch notch. And then we want to figure out just how far off the bottom we need the notch to go. So I'd rather not just bring the notch all the way down to the complete base, otherwise chips will fall out. So it's like if we were to make that guy three-quarters from the bottom, that would work. And this thing is 5 inches tall, so whoops, get you back down here on the paper. So we want to make this notch 7 inches wide, and this guy is 5 inches tall. The flange is 2 inches. And the balance down here is 3 inches. Okay, so this is going to be a 7-inch notch. Okay, and so if we've got a total of 5 inches and we want 3/4 remaining at the base, which actually we should do 5/8 just to make sure it doesn't conflict when we put it on there. That'll give us an 1/8 inch clearance. So 5 inches minus 5/8 is going to be 4 3/8. So this is going to be 7 by 4 3/8 depth. Where should we rate it? Yeah, we'll go here. 4 3/8. That's going to be our notch. So get you a close up there. Maybe. So that's it. That's our notch. Real simple. Then when we go out there, to do the cutting, this will make sense.
So much pressure we got here. Cool. Air compressor is pumped. Whoa. See how it goes.
Not bad. Should have 7 inches here. Maybe a hair under, but it's a gonna require a little filing just to clean up that little bit of edge. But pretty straight cuts considering what I was using to do it with. So happy with that. All right, I'm going to attempt to pick this thing up. I've got a hoist in here. I use for some other, I've used in the past for other projects, and I've got some pretty old crappy trusses or whatever up in this garage, but what I did was I sistered them with some 2x4s to strengthen them up, and anyway, that's what I'm doing to reinforce that up there. I got some chain. Wasn't quite sure where to get this stuff from, but I looked at a Harbor Freight coupon and it had this 3/8 chain. Actually, this is 5/16, and it says not for overhead use, but it's rated for like 4,000 pounds. And this machine weighs like 400 pounds, so I feel very safe using this to pick it up.
Well, thanks for stopping by. Looking forward to making part 4. Thank you for watching up to this point, and hopefully you find this interesting. I know this is a little bit slow, but I want you guys to see what's required to do this if you're by yourself and you don't know what you're doing.